I think a really good time to have a good conversation with a man is in a car, with him driving. He's not going to look at you. He doesn't have to look at you, and he can't get out. You know? Yeah.
So what is required to form a healthy romantic bond with another person? And part two is it necessary to go through negative or challenging romantic experiences in order to actually appreciate someone that's great?
I love working with the millennials, the young folks, because of their experimentation and their energy. And I do want to say, hold on for it. There is more than chemistry. And there's more than hooking up and saying bye-bye. And this is the most important piece. We need to be able to translate what we are hearing from a potential partner. And I think it's very important for us to recognize that men have outies, we have innies, and there are two kinds of foreplay, intercourse and orgasm. One of them, and the one that's very important to us with innies, is the face-to-face caring communication. So I tell men, the most important thing you can do is be good at giving face time. Right. Spend 10 minutes and really hold the space with her. And I tell women, learn it's not all about you. A guy has often fewer words than we do. So take in what he's saying and respect it and know he's not going to be a gal pal.
Yeah, right.
You know, I think that intimacy that women get from the face-to-face comes from millions of years of holding the baby in front of your face, cajoling it, reprimanding it, educating it with words. And so women really define intimacy as focusing on the person, the anchoring gaze, and talking. I think it comes from millions of years of that kind of intimacy with children. Whereas with men, often get intimacy from side-by-side doing things with you. And I think that may come from millions of years of sitting behind that bush on the grasslands of Africa trying to hit that buffalo in the head with a rock. You know, you can't be just talking to your neighbor. And you'll see men, we all know all kinds of men who on a Sunday afternoon watch a football game or something, say nothing to each other.
That's right. They
for
hold
hours,
the TV.
and they have an incredibly intimate time. And so one of the things that I try to do with the man is give him intimacy on his style. Walk side by side with him. Don't look at him at all. Have real good conversations without any face-to-face. You know, I think a really good time to have a good conversation with a man is in a car, with him driving. He's not going to look at you. He doesn't have to look at you, and he can't get out. You know?
That's a whole other thing.
It's also that the football or going to war, you know, cover my back, my buddy's right beside me.
Yeah.
Whereas when we women want that en face, that looking into your eyes and really having that connection, sometimes to men that feels like he's being pounded on the breastbone and called out.
Yeah.
Right.
As in when I say, I want to have a talk. And what he gets ready for is, what's the list? What is it I didn't do right or enough of? So I think that's really wise. Find ways we can be side by side.
Yeah.
We so much want to be loved and to love, and we project this fantasy. We have to be realistic and discern between our fantasy and reality. Because often the woman, for a case of a man, who we want to be intimate with and we have expectations for, maybe those are not realistic. Those are about yourself and something that you never had happen in your life. And we have to be careful not to set up our partner to be intimate with us in a way that's just not reasonable.
I think it's very real. Often we enter into relationships, potentially long-term relationships, as if he's a project or a job, because my expectations are it should look like this, we should be like this, he should respond like that. And I don't think there's anything that can drive a man away faster, because he is not our work. I think it's so important for us to recognize we're building a story together. The word romance comes from the French, roman, a story. And that can be sustained. We can go from that panting romance to a really potentially meaningful relationship.
And I want to go back to the way you started this. What would I tell single people? I think Shakespeare probably had it right. To your own self be true. Before you go out there looking for a partner, know what your values are, what your vision for your life is, what your beliefs are on all levels, and what your purposes are. Know yourself really well and then go looking for a match for that. So you're not just looking for somebody who finds you attractive, because I'm sure that's what happens in many profiles on Match.com is they write them so that I'm going to find somebody who's going to find what I wrote attractive. And I always tell people who are writing them, write what you want. Right? Not what you're not, don't write for the person who's going to read it and maybe think, oh, well, that's nice. Write for who you want to draw someone to.
Well, I guess what I would say to sum up everything you guys have said is that you heard it here first. If you have any questions about what to do, watch this video again.